after that, we have the second part in the Dead Sea. You realize it, right? In the Dead Sea, it's gonna be nice and warm. Prepare you in advance. It's gonna be very relaxing. So first of all, we're gonna do Jerusalem and then the Dead Sea. Now we are crossing actually Tel Aviv. And do you know what's the capital of Israel? Is it Tel Aviv or Jerusalem?
Jerusalem.
You're not sure?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, yeah. Who decided that it's gonna be Jerusalem, the capital?
Who decided?
You move it. No, actually, so King David moved it 3,000 years ago. Didn't move it. He just moved the embassy. He didn't even move it. He took the consulate, turned it into the embassy, and the embassy turned it into the consulate. So it's pretty much the same thing. It's the place where Israeli go get visas to the place where Israeli go get visas. So it didn't change the capital. According to the Israeli law, it's the capital already from 1949. But it's kind of the capital of the Jewish world already from the time of King David. So definitely not Trump. We didn't move it recently. It's always been the capital, Jerusalem. Actually, Jerusalem it's also twice as big. Around 900,000 people live in Jerusalem, but only 400,000 people live in Tel Aviv. But the metropolitan of Tel Aviv is bigger. Around 1.5 million people live in the metropolitan of Tel Aviv, and 1 million people work at Tel Aviv. So Tel Aviv it's the heart of Israel. It's the economy part of the heart of Israel. So it's like other states where the capital is bigger, but not really the economy. So now it seems kind of, because it's Saturday, it's our day off. This is why you don't have too much traffic, but if you've been here more than 2 days, you know how many people come and work in Tel Aviv. So Tel Aviv is not the capital, but it's kind of still the heart of Israel. And by the way, Tel Aviv it's much younger than Jerusalem. You know how old is Jerusalem?
No.
No. We say King David was 3,000 years ago, so it means that it's even older than that. Let's give another 1,000 years to Jerusalem, so around 4,000 years. It's not that old actually for Israel. We have older city than that, like Jericho that we're gonna see in the second part of our day. It's around 10,000 years old. Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, it's only 100 years, a little bit more, 110 years. So pretty new, but we have the old city of Jaffa that I also recommend you to go if you have an extra hour in Tel Aviv. Today it's a neighborhood inside of Tel Aviv that it's approximately the same amount of years as Jerusalem, around 4,000 years. So this was a little bit about Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Now I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of rest, and we're gonna talk a little bit more on the way. Do you have any questions for now? About the day, about Wi-Fi without a password. Basic bastard.
Wi-Fi without the
What more can you ask? Wi-Fi, the most important thing. And by the way, yeah, I already tell you guys, if you need water, our great driver is selling water for $1 or €1. I know if you met another place in Israel that said water for $1, you probably haven't, because I don't know any. So if you need water, you should get it from him because it's much cheaper. So if you need water, you can get it. And that's it. We're gonna have the Bastille of Jerusalem, and after that, before going to the Dead Sea. So all our tour inside Jerusalem, it's by foot.
don't get any more fruits.
They would come here. We have.
I like big, big cakes. Not small, small. What do we try?
There's a पानी का तो नहीं तो है वो ट्राई कर सकते हैं
Ne yapacağım?
the people who haven't fallen asleep yet, if you can look to the left, you see a building between the trees. Kind of look in the forest, but not the real forest. So this is the 11 o'clock. So this is the monastery of Emmaus. Emmaus is the place that mentioned in the New Testament. It's the first place where Jesus revealed himself after resurrection. Meeting those two passengers on the way to Jerusalem, and he having a meal with them, and they don't recognize him immediately, and only after he leaves they understand that it was Jesus that came back to life, and then they spread the word of him being back when they get to Jerusalem. So this is the area of Latun, with the monastery of Emmaus. Another place where Emmaus might be, it's going to be in Abu Ghosh. We're going to see it after our coffee break. And now we are getting also to an area that is the hills before the mountains of Jerusalem. We were at the area of Tel Aviv, where it's pretty flat, and now we're getting to the hills, and in front of us this is already the Judean mountain. Jerusalem is at the top, or around 800 meters above sea level. It's depending where you are in Jerusalem. We're going to be at Mountain of Olive that's 850 meters above sea level. So we're getting the landscape that's changing very quickly when we are in Israel. It's a lot of fun actually, 1 hour drive and already different landscape. Most of the forests here in Israel are planted forests. This is why you're going to see a lot of pine trees. It was planted by the Kakael around 150 years ago. And this is all the landscape that you see now. So you can already see the landscape changing. It's very nice. By the way, you can see also a lot of eucalyptus tree on our right side. They came from Australia around 100 years ago to dry the swamps that was in the center of Israel. And they grow very good here. They are not koalas, of course, but a lot of eucalyptus tree all along Israel, although they are not a native tree, not original to this area. They just can handle the heat very, very well. Guys, now if you look to the right, you will see army vehicle dating from the War of Independence in 1948 right now. Because actually we are in the area called Shanagai, and this is the area where the hardest battle of the War of Independence happened in 48. This was the battles toward Jerusalem, the Battle of the Road. What happened that the road here was very, very narrow. You can see that was enlarged later. And there was Arab villages on top of the mountains, and then the vehicle was trying to get to Jerusalem from the road and was attacked, and this is why they decided to make them more protected. You're going to see other memorials to this vehicle on the way. This is one of the memorials. So we have two wars that we're going to talk about it today. We have the War of Independence in 1948 when Israel was created, and the Six-Day War in 1967 when Israel take over the east of Jerusalem and the West Bank. We're going to mention it a lot in Jerusalem, in the battles along the Old City and the Jewish border especially. But you can already see where the battle was try to help Jerusalem. Jerusalem, just like today, was 10% of the Jewish population. So today we said 900,000 people in Jerusalem. We are 9 million people approximately in Israel. So 10% of the Israeli population live in Jerusalem, and it was the same case in 1948. So it was still the biggest city even then. The hardest battle was to get to Jerusalem. There was even a point when the commander of the army told David Ben Gurion, our prime minister, that Jerusalem might fall. Maybe we should withdraw and just let Jerusalem fall and establish the area of Tel Aviv better. But he said, without Jerusalem, they're not going to be an Israeli state, because we're Zionist. Zion is one of the names of Jerusalem. They're not going to be Zionism with not Jerusalem. So the hardest battle was exactly where we are right now. We saw the memorial, and we're going to see other vehicle on the way. Now in front of us you can see a bridge, but this bridge it's not meant for vehicle and not even for human being. This is an ecological bridge that's meant for the animals. There's a lot of deers and other mammals and other animals that living in the mountain Judea, and for them to have a good passage that can pass the road from one side to the other, they make this ecological bridge. We don't have a lot of them in Israel, but this is one of the few. That way they can pass to the other side. To the left side now you can see the other army vehicle from 1948 that we mentioned before. Then we're getting to our commemorating. So we're getting to our morning break, and actually we have morning break in a very special place. It's the only place, sort of, we call it next to Jerusalem, that it celebrates the king. You know which king?
Elvis.
If you look to the left, it will be written big letter, Elvis Presley. So it's a sort of diner with a lot of picture of Elvis Presley and music. Very, very big fan. And what's nice, it's when you get the coffee, you get it in an Elvis mug, and you can take the mug with you home. So it's pretty nice. So it's really the only place like this in Israel. There's a lot of also toilets, so please use the bathroom, because we're not gonna have a bathroom break when we get to Jerusalem, only when we're in the old city. So please use the restroom. We're gonna have 20 minutes. Now it's 8, so 8:20. We all meet back in the bus. And of course you can take a lot of pictures with Elvis, different statue and pictures and everything else. And the toilet, it's when you get in, you go down, one floor down. 8:20 in the bus, please.